Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Darren Crawley, Partner Account Manager at Cloud for Partners at Ascari. I'd like to welcome you to today's session, which is hosted in partnership with Sana eCommerce. Before we commence today's presentation, a couple of housekeeping items. Firstly, all of the delegates on today's session are on mute. However, we do wish for you to ask questions during the course of today's webinar, and there is an opportunity to input questions through the chat function on GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar. So feel free to put into the chat box any questions that you have during the course of the presentation today. We normally have, in the last 5 to 10 minutes, a Q&A session to wrap up. So we will revisit your comments and questions at that point, and we'll do our best to answer any questions that you have. Also, for the benefit of anyone who can't make today's session or wishes to share today's session, we do record all of our live webinars, and they are made available through GoToWebinar after the session is finished. And also we do publish any webinars on the Cloud for Partners YouTube channel. So I do recommend that you visit that after the event if you miss your invitation to look at your recording. On to today's session. This is in conjunction with Sana eCommerce, and I have our colleague Ian Weinstock, who's joining us today. Ian is Sales Manager for Sana in UK and Ireland, and for those who don't know Sana, they have a very long track record of success in delivering e-commerce to projects for the Business One reseller community. In fact, I understand Sana is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year. And as we all know, e-commerce is a very competitive market for Business One partners. Why is that? Well, put simply, it's a feature and a facility that's in huge demand by many small and medium-sized enterprises across the globe. So we wanted to enable you to get an insight into what Sana can offer your customers today. And more specifically, what we wanted to do was looking at how we can help partners to maximize the impact of their ERP solution. So we'll cover off some differentiators in terms of the true integration story that Sana offer your customers, and also highlight in a bit more detail how a fully integrated e-commerce solution with SAP Business One can improve overall business performance. So I'd just like to hand over to Ian, if you just bear with me for a few moments. Over to you, Ian.
Thank you very much. So thank you all for joining the video today. As Darren's already said, we will be looking at how to get the most or leverage the most from your ERP, whilst also getting e-commerce right first time round. So if you can all see my screen, I'll jump onto the next slide. So I wanted to break this down into 3 key bullet points. And in this session, we want to discuss the ever-increasing importance of real-time information, serving that real-time information, not just to yourselves as an organization or your clients' organizations, if you're a partner, but also, and more importantly, serving that customer information to the customer. So this could be things like order history, this could be stock levels, this could be specific B2B pricing for that specific business partner that customer wants to show that information to. We'll also be looking at how e-commerce can specifically address those quick wins within your customer's business if you're a partner, or the business if you're a customer, and also their customers' customers. So technology is rapidly evolving, and it's more easy and accessible and affordable than ever before to use. What this is doing, and what we found, is this is increasing the market competition, not just for us, but also for your customer's next big competitor, your business partner's next big competitor, as they could come from anywhere. We've seen this historically with the likes of Uber versus traditional taxi services, or we've seen this through the travel agent. When was the last time you used a travel agent to book your holiday? We now have lots of online tools that help us do that on a self-service basis more quickly, more readily, and more affordably than ever before. So staying ahead really depends on how flexible your businesses can be and how effectively you can connect your business systems or your customers' business systems to their sales channels. If we look at the customer impact that it's having, and we look at this at a consumer level, we notice many changes. So for example, if you commute, regardless of how you commute today, you'll be able to see transport information. So if you take a car and you have a sat nav, you'll be able to see what the journey time is. You'll be able to see if there's traffic buildup. You'll even be able to see what lane is best to get in, so you can navigate your way more readily and more easily around the traffic and the congestion. It's the same for trains, for buses, for planes. You'll be able to see live and in real time when your bus is due, when your train's ready to depart, when your plane's going to depart, if it's going to be delayed, and you can anticipate, most importantly, when you're going to arrive. It's the same for deliveries. So most of us are aware of the likes of DPD or Amazon, who send their alerts through various messaging channels to keep us in the loop of when our items are likely to arrive, when we can unpack or open or make sure someone's available to receive that parcel. And again, it's the same if you look at the consumer way of life with online takeaway orders through the likes of Just Eat, Hungry Horse, where you can find a cuisine you want for that evening, eat that cuisine and enjoy it and give a review and a feedback. Life is becoming more convenient. And of course, on a similar path, it's the same with these fitness monitors that are all the rage at the moment. And you can say that from that, we really need to start applying these same real-time data tools to the B2B buying requirements. So this quote is almost 4 years old. It comes from Forrester Research. It's dated around 2015, but it comes just before that. And it's almost as true now as when the statement was originally made. Today's B2B environment is more and more complex. It's crowded and competitive than it's ever been. B2B buyers are now insisting on an Amazon-like experience with real-time interaction, extensive price and inventory transparency, and robust guided selling. What that's meaning is B2B and B2C, and from the parallels we've drawn in the consumer environment, are becoming more and more similar. And even the trends towards manufacturers, for example, they're starting to sell directly to the consumers. So it's not just about pure B2B or pure B2C, but now utilizing both strategies. Now, last summer, we worked with Sapio Research, which is an independent research organization, to survey over 300 B2B companies around the world. We wanted to know more about their digital transformation and how far along that they were. We wanted to understand more about their challenges and what success looked like for them. So some of the key findings that we found is that technology is developing exponentially and businesses are starting now to take notice. 46% of our respondents said that they currently sell products via their own web store, which was up from 29% when we last did this research two or so years ago. We also noticed that mobile and tablet sales are also growing significantly, with a 5% increase in adoption across businesses with mobile apps in the last 2 years, and of course mobile responsive web design. And this is projected to increase by another 10% in the next 2 years, 9% specifically. While, just going back to this, while we can see web stores are growing rapidly, followed by social and mobile apps, most B2B companies specifically are using a combination of different sales channels to sell those products. B2B is in the thick of a digital revolution and proper digitization, with one foot in the analog world and one foot currently in the digital. So with so many channels that are available, and with sales happening in store, online, via the phone, via email, at a warehouse, at a distribution point, via fax, even now, businesses have their work cut out for them. And it's vital for them to keep their customers, their customer experience, their brand, their messaging, or consistent across all those channels? The answer is multi-channel, or in this case, omni-channel. What we found from the research is 52% of the respondents that we questioned said that their own web store is the most important component of their complete omni-channel strategy. The businesses who are doing it right, it's really working. 64% of those reported an increase in sales, and 26% say it's increasing customer retention, with another 10% saying it's improving their overall customer experience. For over half of these businesses success surveyed, you can see clearly why having your own web store is the most important component for that B2B strategy. With that said, it's not just about great technology. If you don't focus on your customers, you simply won't be successful. It's about being customer-centric, and this specific quote here was taken from a post via LinkedIn that went viral. So, as we mentioned before, it wasn't Netflix that killed Blockbuster. In a similar way, it's not Amazon that's killing the retail industry. It's the failure for the retail industry to start adopting or putting up with providing continually bad customer service. It's the same with Uber and the taxi business. They did it to themselves by not providing this service sooner. I believe when there was an interview with Addison Lee that came just prior to Uber in the UK, they mentioned if they'd invested an extra £100,000, Uber said to them they would have actually killed their market in the UK, because they would have been able to provide more of a service, more capabilities in their platform, and do more with it. And it's a similar thing with Apple. Apple did not kill the music industry. The music industry applied that to themselves by forcing people to buy full-length albums rather than individual tracks. Therefore, technology by itself is not the real disruptor. The real disruptor is not focusing on the needs of the customer, and that can be your biggest threat across any business. We also know that customer demands are evolving, and that technology is playing a key role in all of this, in facilitating this. So we need to ask, how will your businesses continue to not only meet your customers' demands, but raise the bar to create a loyal customer base, one that is built on retention business, one that's built on discounts, one that's built on serving the right information to the right customer at the right time. And it all starts with being where your customers are, online. There's a statistic that's bandied around quite a lot, that most purchases start online. 80%, in fact, of all purchases start online, whether that's doing mystery shopping, whether that's finding out more information about a product or about a service or about a solution that can meet those requirements. And what we've also seen, and this is based on the Customer 2020 report, customer experience will overtake price and product as it's the key brand differentiator. Customers are more and more led into the world of driving convenience. This is why we've seen Uber, we've seen Airbnb, we've seen so many of these online channels become huge organizations because convenience is their driving USP. However, Harvard Business Report also says that the highest digital priority by far is also creating an exceptional and highly relevant customer experience. Again, not just differentiator in terms of convenience, but most importantly, making sure you can provide great customer service and do that online. So the customer of 2020, which isn't too far away, will be more informed and in charge of the experience that they receive. They want and they expect companies to know their individual needs and personalize that experience. An immediate resolution will not be fast, as customers will expect these companies to proactively address these current and also their future needs at the same time. So we've also seen, additionally to all of this, mid-market companies, especially in the B2B area, they don't want the hassle of trying to integrate a whole bunch of different systems and get them talking to one another. Having multiple shipping addresses, accounts, different payment methods, specific pricing breaks and pricing levels, customer-specific products which are unique to the customer, and specific business partner catalogs, for example, a whole variety of different POs regardless of how the order was placed, and invoice management. This all needs to be considered, and the information needs to be available easily when you're building out a B2B web store environment. It also needs to be in real time. When you're handling large-scale accounts with complex needs, having a simple shopping cart function isn't going to get the job done. So while there is demand for a fully integrated system, many of the solutions that are out there are being met with a lot of this type of criticism. So there's a disconnect between the web store and the ERP, or there's a delay, which is forcing redundant data or manual keying in of data, which can cause time, cause cost to the customer, and also detract from the overall customer experience. And it's the same with poor web store integration, which limits the ability to optimize not just your business processes, but also the client's online experience. So with each of these points, traditionally in the world of e-commerce, these have been kept separate. So the customer manager has their own remit, and the e-commerce or the product managers have their own remit. What we're saying is by having integrated e-commerce, you can bring all of this together and create a more cohesive and joined up experience as well. So the other point as well is integrated e-commerce can change all of this. And it's still not the norm today. So what we saw in a recent Forrester report was 62% of these mid-market B2B companies plan to change or upgrade their e-commerce platform and choose a single stack solution. This is defined as one platform that typically bundles all of the features that a company needs from one provider, rather than piecing together different technology and different components from several vendors. Mid-market companies do not want the hassle of trying to integrate a whole bunch of different systems. This is a quote that was mentioned from Andy Hoare, a principal analyst at Forrester, who specifically focuses on B2B e-commerce. He also said that they want something that works as a whole and may even be willing to compromise on functionality if they can get all of their systems in a more easy to manage environment. And the driving force behind this movement is the ease of maintaining a unified system, one solution that can do everything. Other reasons also include greater agility and access to the real-time data. However, e-commerce isn't the only driving requirement for online. We've mentioned quite a bit about e-commerce. Many organizations also require a form of online self-service for the customers to access. And this could be for managing payments and invoices, as we've really led on to before, but also providing that greater convenience for online payments. The screen grab in front of you just showcases part of the solution that we have as part of our e-commerce offering. We're also focusing, or will be focusing come next month, on providing a web portal where customers don't necessarily need to purchase goods from us, but can also have this online access to their invoices regardless of how they placed orders, and make those payments or send invoices to relevant departments as well. And that'll be coming soon in as part of our feature roadmap. Bottom line is, and what we found, is customers do not want to call every time to make a payment, receive an invoice, and it can detract from the overall customer service that your clients could be providing their customers. So this brings us on to having fully integrated e-commerce. So Sana's vision is to help companies reach their full potential and build a future-proof technology for organizations. We realize that taking the first step is simply the hardest part, which is why we've built an e-commerce system that leverages SAP Business One. It helps your customers get the most from their ERP investment. Our clients call us each day looking to improve the way in which their clients work online, as they're also working in this world where digital transformation is fundamentally changing how their businesses and their business processes also operate. So our philosophy, in simple terms, is we want the ERP and the e-commerce platform to work as one. So most companies struggle to move their first generation web store, or even not even having a web store, and make that leap to a leaner and an integrated system. Maintaining the ERP so it can power the web store is absolutely crucial. It means that you can be very agile in terms of your approach. ERP upgrades do not impede the web store process because our platform supports everything from SAP Business One 9.0 all the way through to the latest versions. We work very closely as a certified solution for SAP Business One. It also means that smart businesses can operate more effectively by building the business logic and the pricing rules inside SAP ERP or SAP Business One ERP and pushing that out online. And as a result, you've got one centralized source, your central source of truth for this real-time and this accurate information. It also means that this can be integrated and fully operational out of the box without additional customizations depending on the customer's requirement. It also means you don't need specialized IT staff additionally to support or host the e-commerce element of the solution. So most primary business processes and their business data is already available within their ERP system. What we're helping to do is leveraging that data and exposing that securely online to show what the customer has. So just to go back and just explain the differences in terms of what traditional e-commerce does and what we do, and highlight those key differences. This is an interface system. So what you will have is you will have your ERP system, in this case SAP Business One, and you will have on top of that your e-commerce platform. Your e-commerce platform may be duplicating, maybe separately pulling or running data. It probably won't be in a real-time fashion, or likely won't be in a real-time fashion. And this could be information about the business partner catalog. This could be information about generic pricing, because you may not be able to have the partner-specific or business partner-specific pricing available, the different shipping options, the different handling and status updates of the order, and of course all the account information surrounding the customer. What can typically happen, especially as time moves on and these platforms become more dated or they're not supported any longer, is it becomes quite difficult to maintain. You have two systems or platforms to maintain. You have additional resource that has to be spent on focusing on serving those customers if it's a separate e-commerce platform on the front end, and also making sure that that's managed in an effective way. So these synchronizations, these APIs, these web services that push and pull the data are working. And if there is a new version that someone's upgrading to, that it's going to work with a new version in the future. It also means in most cases, you have to rebuild your entire ERP in the web store, or most of your ERP in the web store. So this is your complex pricing rules, your line breaks, your discounts, your order information, your shipping information. And as a result, that can be quite cumbersome and quite a headache. And therefore, you have to duplicate process. So if you want to make a change in one area, you also have to make that same change separately within the ERP. And as a result, as time goes on and customers demand more, the complexity of serving these APIs and these methods of pushing and pulling the data, it can become more and more complex. So the way in which we work is we install our framework inside SAP Business One, and therefore we're able to take the existing business logic, the existing business rules, and we're able to push that out securely online, leading to a quicker, smarter integration. So potentially you can go to market faster on the basis the data is there, and of course there's a clear strategy of how you want to move forward. But also it means that there's one system to maintain. So from a partner perspective, your customer becomes stickier because everything is integrated into the ERP. And there's a different representation of our solution. Now that's not all. As we've mentioned, we keep on talking about future-proofing the solution. Having a standalone solution that can date and age quickly is a bad idea. It's very much e-commerce of old. What we've done, and as of today, later on this afternoon, we have SANA 9.3, which has been released. So this is very good timing for this presentation. So we have major improvements in terms of the way in which we are pulling and pushing data in terms of speed of use. So it's now 3 times faster than it has been before. And even then, there's only been like a second of a delay, or a second or two of delay based on the number of line items that someone's wanted to update pricing on. So it's becoming more of a future and leading solution in the world of integrated commerce. SANA SaaS will deliver a solution that can offer continuous value stream. It helps companies remain competitive online and 5 years from now and beyond. It means they can always be on the latest version of SANA. So the latest patches, latest releases, they're always available for those customers. It also means that problems of old, where web store and software upgrades have been expensive and difficult, you now have these automated upgrades on a regular basis. These cadence are determined by the clients and based on the business needs and the availability. It also means it negates the issue where the customer comes to you and says their e-commerce system's stuck on an old version due to legacy technology and other restrictions caused by system customizations. What we've done in terms of how we move this forward is we changed the way in which extensions are built. So we utilize extension endpoints. So we future-proofed our e-commerce platform. So not only will the upgrades remain available, but also the customizations that tie into those will also remain capable. And because technology does evolve at a rapid pace, you don't want your customers to get stuck in that route. So we've got that solution that helps address the customization challenge. It also means that e-commerce systems that aren't based on SaaS can potentially become more unstable and less secure because, of course, they're not receiving the latest updates and the latest patches. It also means that the complex pricing strategies for a lot of e-commerce platforms, they're not actually available within Sana. We have a simplified pricing mechanism. So it's not just the actual initial implementation, but it's one combined monthly fee that provides the hosting, the license, and the different support levels, so the actual technical support, as well as the account management support as well. Finally, continuous updates and upgrades can potentially hurt the ERP, where the ERP can't necessarily keep up with the SaaS product. We mentioned that Sana is very scalable as a product, so even if you are on the latest version of Sana, it still does have backward compatibility to older versions of SAP Business One as well. So we did mention earlier about client benefits. I'm sure we've addressed quite a lot of these, but this is an actual example of an existing customer that's utilized Sana and had quite a bit of success. So the challenge that Doherty had was they had a large and diverse B2B customer base. It was comprised of approved and registered installers, and for them, product information and specifications were absolutely critical, as is straightforward access to a comprehensive product catalog. The company also wanted to generate new inbound inquiries, opening up its web store to all its visitors by granting guest visitors access to the catalog was an essential requirement for Doherty. So what we did is we presented a solution that offered a combination of true SAP Business One integration and the ability to future-proof the online sales channel. Being able to see that firsthand and how the web store and the SAP Business One platform seamlessly worked together in a live demonstration convinced Doherty there and then that it was the right solution. Because we are a SAP certified partner with a proven track record of successful implementations, they were able to trust our expertise, both in a SAP-centric and also e-commerce-centric approach. The results that they have, and having invested already in SAP Business One, they knew that setting up and maintaining a catalog for the new web store wouldn't require any additional or specialist resources. It also meant that maintaining the web store was very easy thanks to the SAP Business One agility and the seamless integration with Sana. IT maintenance now takes little more than 30 minutes a week. It also means they've been able to optimize their sales. Clients and guest visitors alike have around-the-clock access to detailed product information 24/7, and the company's entire product catalog can be discussed with a Doherty sales advisor if need be. This also means that the web store is easy to use for customers to make direct purchases, see relevant account information, order history, invoice details, make payments, and it's always at hand. Doherty's field sales team can also take advantage of the online store when visiting clients by showing them the channel. And this omni-channel blend of customer services has helped Doherty take its sales to the next level and retain its competitive edge in the marketplace. In addition to being certified for SAP Business One, we've also recently been cited in Forrester's B2B e-commerce report in September, this month, for being in the top 12 of B2B e-commerce solutions that can be truly integrated. This technology for our partners, our business partners, and our clients is something you can also benefit from because it helps enhance our solution and the recognition of the solution. In addition to all of this, we've also committed quite heavily to the AI initiative, and we're working hard to develop new web tech to provide more optimal and customer experiences. We're rethinking how we're going to function as a solution in the e-commerce space with ERP as that backbone, and providing our clients with a sustainable and digital business models. It takes far more than just having a website for customers or some mobile apps and an ERP. It takes our team's vision and commitment to achieve this. Well, if you'd like what you've heard and you want to find out more information, you're more than welcome to get in touch via the Cloud for Partners contacts, or of course via myself, and we'll be more than happy to assist. I'd like to bring this presentation back to Darren, and happy to respond to any questions you may have.
Thank you, Ian. That was a very thorough and also timely presentation, given the latest version of Sana that you have available. I have been prompting the audience for questions using the chat box during the course of the presentation. So far, Ian, we have no questions, so I think you've done a very good job there in informing everyone of the benefits and the power of the technology available. I will just give the audience one more opportunity to pitch any questions. And while I'm waiting for any response, it's just a reminder that this is a series of monthly webinars that Cloud for Partners run in conjunction with our partner community. And if you're first-time visitor to today's webinar, one thing I would like to say is that we run them the final Wednesday of each month at midday UK time, and all I would say is if you are interested in finding out a bit more about future presentations and future offerings, then simply look out for the Cloud for Partners LinkedIn posts. Also Ascari, our sister company, will post details of future webinars, and you can also visit our Twitter accounts as well. So just awaiting any further questions before we wrap up for today. There is one, I think, coming through. Oh, right, okay, so we have one question for you, Ian. For Sana SaaS, how do we get the updates? So can you maybe sort of explain in a bit more detail about that?
Indeed. So with the previous versions of Sana, so this was 9.2, 9.1 and prior, there was a bit of a manual process to migrate from one platform version to another. It was still quite limited, and it was quite effective in terms of the transition process, but we usually had to build manual resource for that. What we're proposing with 9.3 is it's simply available at the touch of a button. So if you want to be on the latest release, you click to upgrade, because we understand that all customers don't want to be on the latest and greatest version as soon as they log in. Sometimes they want control on those changes they make, and having a button to actually do the physical upgrade, it is literally going to be as simple as that from 9.3 and beyond.
Thank you. So we'll just come to the end of the presentation. One more time, I just wanted to check if there were any additional questions. Stephen's passed his thanks on to you, Ian, for a very good presentation there. So if there aren't any further questions, I will wrap up today's webinar. I'd just like to thank Ian's input for today. It's much appreciated. Hopefully we'll be able to generate some additional opportunities for yourselves from the Cloud for Partners community, which is not just UK and Ireland, but also a global network. Also, I'd just like to thank Luke Feasy as well, Senior Marketing Manager at Sana, for his assistance. And finally, thank you to all of our attendees today. As I've already mentioned, we do have the webinar recording available through GoToWebinar notifications after today's event, and also we will be posting on our YouTube channel for Cloud for Partners a recording that you can review at your leisure as well. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and we look forward to you joining our webinar next month. Thank you.